was just like the controls and just the detailed. Hot damn! Now I'm finna try Quantum Break and shit.
Oh, you gotta try, dude. I am putting my Xbox name behind that title right there, yo. Holy crap, man! Yeah.
We shall see.
Yeah, I still can't believe what I saw. I still cannot believe what I saw. But since I can't believe what I saw, yo, everybody, why don't you just say, give the chat a shout out for our pregame?
Wait for it.
We're all quiet now?
Wait for it. Hey, when did you start recording?
I didn't record. I'm streaming. I'm streaming, sir.
When do you hit that stream button?
Looks like
right
a minute ago.
Okay. All right.
Just to let you know, there is a delay. I'm just saying.
I'm just wondering what part got cut.
Yeah, the pregame, is it going right now?
Yeah, it's going right now.
It should be going.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. You know what? I'm going to do something for the pregame. I'm going to mess around with my clicks and stuff here. I got a little bonus gameplay content. Stuff I recorded, but I didn't put into my gameplay. But it's a really cool game, so I figure I'll throw it on for the pregame here.
Oh man!
What are you laughing at, man?
Oh, only if you knew.
What?
Only if you knew.
This is Don. I will let you know that is scary. When you giggle and say "only if we knew," like it could be anything coming from the Don, man.
Yeah, you know what? You know what's funny? I was actually just thinking about not too long ago when K Mega didn't have X and everybody else was in the in the party, and we're sending screenshots and videos back and forth. Man, K Diva was not having it.
How was I not having it? I didn't say anything. I just went to bed.
No, you were rubbernecking towards your bank account, and you're like, "Where's my damn money?"
Oh shoot,
Yeah, I kept,
Brian.
I kept
Blades is in the chat. He's asking what's up for tonight. Yo, Blades, I believe like right after the show, we're gonna go in on the story for Halo 5, right?
Whenever I kick my family out.
Oh, dude, you can't do that because I also have a play date for Call of Duty with the missus too. So I mean, guys, I have to try to get this all in, man.
First. Do Call of Duty first.
No, she's not going to be here right afterwards, though.
Yeah, but I already wrote her a doctor's note. There's no reason why she can't be there.
You know what this means? If there turns into any confusion, anybody who plays games on Xbox with me knows. If there's any confusion, I say fuck it all and I go to Destiny 2. You guys realize that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, I know. Like I try to get you off of that. You're like, no, he's lost in that world.
Oh my goodness, my hunter is very pimp-ish right now. I'm not saying my hunter is a pimp, just very pimp-ish right now. Oh my goodness.
Well, I noticed he had like some Jordans on. I don't know what was up with that.
Oh wow,
dude, I got like gold plating here, there, and whatnot. Yo, Mega, you would be proud of me, Mega, man. I know we got style here. You'd be proud of my hunter right now, man.
nice.
Did you just say Mega Man again?
Gotta have that.
You know I gotta do that, dude.
I just want to make sure.
I'm gonna let it slide too.
Yeah, he's gonna let it slide, but
let it slide. But Don brought it out, man.
No way.
Well, guys, I'm really excited about this episode, of course, because the next family comes together and we get to talk about the 1X, that beautiful piece of hardware that was released. I believe everybody here does have one, so I don't know. It's been a whirlwind, man, when it comes to gaming. Going back in and checking out different games and stuff that possibly haven't played in a while, just because it has those enhancements and stuff like that. But we're gonna what I was planning on is going in and talking about the good, bad, and the ugly. You know what I'm saying? Let people know, give them our honest opinions on the hardware, how the games are running, what's going on with the system and whatnot. And I mean, we have other bits of news as well. EA basically buying Respawn. We're gonna hit the panel and see what you guys think about that. Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer, man, he has been saying nothing but the right things lately and talking about, first party development teams and stuff like that. Like, that's next on the agenda. So we're going to get in and talk about that. We got a lot of good stuff. Amazon, what the hell is going on with Amazon as well? Because I guess a lot of people ordered their 1X on Amazon, and from what I saw on like social media and stuff, like not too many people got their system on time. So
tell me about it.
That's an issue, man.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Absolutely.
It's funny because they're usually like for anything else. I've always heard people like, yo, just go Amazon. It's the best way to go. And then just for some rhyme or reason, this piece of hardware right here, they seem to have dropped the ball big time.
Yeah, I have no idea what the issue was. I've been a Prime member for the last 3 years and haven't really had any other problems with them. I think except for one other time that I was getting some of those compression socks because I was doing a lot of walking and stuff, and I wanted to be stylish.
Diabetes?
I say, is that like old people socks?
No, they're athletes wear them.
Like orthopedics?
No, like
those big gray shoes.
You got the extra inch on that sole.
yeah. So like those socks to wear. You know the sports athletes wear them all the way up to like their knees and stuff.
Dude, we're gonna start calling you the geriatric gamer.
And so no, I just wanted to. They look cool, and there was some Adidas, and so I was like, let me go ahead and cop some. But that was the only time that I had a delay with those, and never anything else that I bought from them. But until now, that situation with the X and Amazon was stupid. I was not happy.
Well, let's do this.
Yo, Brian Baker in the chat. He's like, Amazon is great. He got my console to me on time, and Blades. He is the sunshine of Xbox Live, Mr. Positivity out there. And as long as he got his system, it's all good.
Right.
Man.
Right. Yeah, this is pretty intense looking. But I'm looking at
this Sonic is the truth, man.
Oh yeah, no, Sonic looks dope. I'm talking about Quantum Break.
Yeah. Dude,
yeah, this is pretty intense.
I dropped my controller. I wasn't expecting too much because the game already looks like incredible. You know what I'm saying? Before the X even came out, like to me, it's still one of the best looking games this generation. So I wasn't expecting too much. And dude, when it first started going like popping off, like the controller just slipped out of my hands. I was like, oh my goodness.
So I don't know if you heard me, Xbot, but let's do this.
What are we doing?
Let's do this. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's do. What are we doing? Yeah.
Oh man, he's in one of those rare moods, guys.
Yo, guys, I am incredibly hyper right now. I've had probably way more coffee than I should have. I am now addicted to chewing gum, so I have a constant sugar intake here.
It's like coffee and blast processing for Xbox.
Yes.
That's why it's out of control.
I will let you guys know with the X, and like I said, we're gonna go into the pros and cons and everything. I just want to let you guys know some of my gameplay. As you can see, with Sonic right here, the gameplay froze. That it's a glitch going on in Upload Studio right now, and you'll see that on my gameplay every once in a while. There was no way to get around it. I tried processing my gameplay like 4 or 5 times. And each time it was a different clip that just ended up freezing for a few seconds. So during my gameplay, you are going to see it. I mean, it's not going to, I don't think it's going to pull you guys out like too much in terms of, the quality of the gameplay. But, there's like maybe 1 or 2 clips that pause for a few seconds or whatnot. But, for people who have an Xbox who deal with updates, you guys know like the first app to get glitchy whenever there's an update to the user interface or anything like that, it's always Upload Studio. So, you guys agree with me on the panel? It's always Upload.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I don't really use Upload, but yeah, it sucks.
Well, you're having a whole different issue with your hard drive, man. So
yeah, I'm working on it. I'm actually working on it right now. We're going through this now, so
man, I gotta get my head out of the gutter. I'm like, Predator's having an issue with his hard drive, and I'm like, damn, I hope the chat doesn't take that the wrong way.
There ain't no problem with that. That thing works. That payment's demon.
Oh goodness.
No, what did I start?
No.
Yeah, hold on. Where is it at? Where is it at? I'm over here looking at the it skipped the part where I was at. It was showing the game, and now it's showing the television the episodes, and this shit looked dope too, just because of the. I don't know, man. Everything looks good on this
I got to give a shout out to somebody in the chat. I guess Alicia X. What's going on, Alicia? I am kind of moderating this whole thing. We didn't even really kick it off, but if you see what I have to do in the background to get this gameplay and all this stuff working, I got my hands on levers, my fingers on buttons, and I'm trying to, talk about the news and stuff with everybody on the panel. It gets a little rough, so I don't get to shout everybody out as much, so I do apologize, but I do see you guys, and I do appreciate all the support for the channel and for the show. Trust me, I definitely do. So anybody else on the panel, and people, if there's shout outs and stuff that need to be made, just feel free to go ahead and let them know that we see them. All right?
I'm just going to say this. He says he got all these levers, buttons, and switches, and paddles, and all this sort of stuff. Only like 2 of those things do a thing. Everything else is just there to keep him occupied.
All the other stuff makes me feel important.
Yes, for sure. Basically, what was that controller on the original Xbox that had all those buttons? The Steel Battalion controller. He has one of those around him, but it's not plugged into anything.
Yes,
pretty much.
But just good news for everybody. I am wearing pants tonight. I'm just saying. Trying something new.
Wait a minute. Can we start the show? Because
I know, right?
Hey, you guys ready? I'm ready. Are you ready?
You already got this dude that's already. You don't get any more of it.
I'm gonna take that as a yeah. Hold on.
All right, man. I'm over here looking at the TV show, the Quantum Break TV show again, and like the detail, like this is Ultra HD, like this is man. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna play this game and beat it again.
All right, guys, we're gonna throw that intro on. We're gonna let K Mega talk all the way through it. It's all good.
Oh my god.
We got to.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the next podcast, episode 69. And it's a good number. It's a good number, and it's also a great episode because we get to talk about our new preferred piece of plastic, the Xbox One X. Guys, thank you again for hanging out with us live another Saturday night. And here we go. So let's get started with the intros, and I'm going to start first with, I guess we'll go with that chinchilla wearing fool, since, your lights are flickering right now, because it's about that time to stand up, show that respect, kiss that ring, the Don!
Hey, guys, I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I will have to be stepping in and out of the podcast to attend to my meat, if you wonder why I'm gone, I am literally pulling out my meat. So I will stop. I don't know. On that note, I'm going to pass it back to Xbox. Let's do this.
Yeah, well, Don, like I said before, don't feel shy. Like if you're going, I don't need any like messages from Twitter or anything like that. Just tell us. While you be like, man, I have to go and I have to go take out my meat real quick. And I'll be back in like 3 minutes or so, and so this way I know, man. Otherwise, I'm going to call on you,
Well, you know what? People should follow me because I'll give them an update on my meat via Twitter as well. So.
Oh goodness! Oh man. All right. Well, next on the list, I don't even have anything to say. I'm just gonna move on. Yo, next on the list, we have a really intelligent gamer, somebody who loves to bring the straight facts when it comes to the gaming news. And guess what, guys? There is nothing wrong with his hard drive. Of course, I am talking Predator.
You call me intelligent. I like that. That's nice.
Dude, I got.
Thanks, man.
I got to butter the roll every once in a while, man. I don't want you to leave, yo.
Yeah, man, glad to be back this week, man. I know we've been out. It feels like we haven't had a podcast in a couple of weeks, but it's probably only been one. But glad you're back, man. Let's get this shit rolling.
Yeah, I got my bandage falling off my neck right now and everything. It's kind of crazy. But, yeah, definitely feeling a lot better. And again, huge shout out first of all to the panel for understanding, with life situations and everything that was going on. You guys been really supportive of me and my family, and I really do appreciate it. And the community, everybody out there in the chat, people who support the show. I know we didn't go live last Saturday. I was kind of quiet on what was going on because I didn't want people to worry. I just wanted to get the procedure done and whatnot. So, but the support between you guys, the community, the gaming community, everybody, it's just been absolutely fantastic. So I just got to thank you guys right now. Yeah.
Man, it's a pretty cool surgery. I mean, your head moves like a Pez dispenser now. Like, it is mind-blowing.
Sideways, though. It's a Pez dispenser sideways, though. It's weird.
Yeah, exactly.
But, let's go next on the list, coming live from the 405. And, he's just trying to talk to the intelligent gamers out there. My brother, K Mega.
Now, I'm over here watching Quantum Break, the TV series side of it in full HD. There is, with the TV show, it shows. And a couple of these chicks that I thought that were kind of cute, with that 4K HD, they can't escape it, Jack. They're not that cute. So, you know what I'm saying? I was over here looking at that doctor, and I'm like, she's kind of cute. You know what I'm saying? I might try to say, wow. And I'm looking like, whoa, hey.
It's like the morning after the bar. Like when the sunlight's coming through the window, you're like, what?
Yeah, but regardless, yeah, man, I'm ready to have a great time. I'm glad that you're all right. You're doing fine. Did not change that voice though. I'm pretty upset about that. I gave the doctor $20 extra to make sure that your voice was going to be a man's voice eventually.
Did you just say you tried to bribe a doctor? With $20,
yeah, with $20, I had $20.
That's
man,
all my
like,
voice
hey.
is worth, man. That I don't even know, man.
Well, I mean, really, if I asked Don what was really worth, and he told me $5.99, but I said, man, I'll give him 20. I'll break him off 20. But anyway, no, man, I'm happy to be here as usual, and yeah, ready to get these topics going.
Nice, and of course, huge shout out to the rest of the Next Podcast family. Of course, Snaps is out there delivering cookies right now. I think she's delivering. Last time I knew, she was in the car. She's either delivering, supervising, or she's doing something over there at her job, making sure everything runs smooth. Of course, Fooskis, which I've been actually gaming with, for a few days and stuff like that. This dude, man, he is working hard on his actual job. He wanted me to, let everybody know, say what's up. He's doing good, everything like that, and he's been working like crazy. He has been talking about there's a time coming up where he won't be working so much. So I'm wondering if he might possibly make an appearance at some point in time. I don't know. But as you can see, I did put some of his gameplay up here as well because we are missing that golden voice. He was definitely the yin to my yang when it comes to that. But and who else? Dark Optimus, which I have no idea what's going on. I think his San Francisco sandal, his the strap that covers his big toe is a little too tight, so he couldn't make it today. But huge shout out to Dark Goldblum and everybody from the Next Podcast family. But let's get into it because man, I am excited to talk about this. I'm pretty sure everybody on the panel right now, you guys got a new piece of hardware in your living room or wherever you game, right? You guys got the Xbox One X?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Of course, we know Mega's on it right now as we speak. But Let's go down the list. I mean, you know, it's come out. We've had a few days to play around with it. Let's start off with the Don. Yo, Don, first impressions of the system, man. What do you think?
Are we going good, bad? What are we doing?
Well, do general. You know, general. I guess we'll go with good first, and then we'll go down and hit the bad. I guess.
Yeah. Well, this is the type of thing. Like, obviously, I really like Max and all that good stuff, but it's not the big wow or surprise I think it is for a lot of other people, right? I work in this world, right? Where
all right, next, never mind.
Things from this high detail, higher detail and what's being scaled back, and the fact that things don't have to be scaled back as far, and all that good stuff. So, I mean, I know what to expect. So the surprise factor is kind of taken away, but
nothing.
Outside of that,
nothing surprised you.
Not really. I mean, I've known about what games are going to look like 4 years ago. So like this is, and I'm not trying to knock down on the X, but I just knew that's where we're going to be at when the hardware finally releases, no matter what the, who's the platform provider. So, this doesn't surprise me where 4K is, what a native 4K image is, what higher texture assets. I have an idea what all this stuff is before it even comes out. So for me, it wasn't a surprise. But what I'm really enjoying is being in party chats and seeing people get this stuff, right? And they're seeing stuff for the first time that I have known for a while, and that's just as exciting to me as anything else. Mm-hmm. That's the crazy thing is, like, you were just talking about Quantum Break, and how your mind is blown, and and we're kind of joking around. I'm like, well, you're in for a treat when you upgrade your television to a true, a 4K HDR television.
Hey, Don,
right?
Gabriel in the chat said you're already killing the party, man.
Yeah, I saw him put that in there too. That's funny.
But that's just kind of how it is. I mean, I'm excited about the console. I enjoy what I have and all that good stuff, but none of it's a surprise. It's all like,
hold on. I gotta find a surprise with you. Like, even with the way they did the 360 emulation and how games like Halo 3 are enhanced the way they are through kind of like they don't even have to touch code and stuff like that. There was no surprise there. Because, I mean, that's a patented way of doing an emulation.
It was a surprise when they announced it, but after they already announced it, I knew what to expect. Does that make sense?
It does, but I don't like your answer, though.
I mean, I know what games are going to look like 4 years from now, right? Like, and that's a world that I live in. So, it's nice and it's exciting to see everyone kind of get that experience.
Okay.
It's more like the dad buying the Christmas gift for everybody else, right? For all the kids. He knows why you got the kids, but now the excitement is to see the kids' reactions, and that's kind of where I'm at with the X. I'm enjoying it for what it is. I love it in a console format. But at the end of the day, I'm more excited to see other people's reactions more than my personal.
Hey Don, PSN Down asked you, is it a little bit Mo?
Send that shit to Hades.
I would say it was a lot more.
Yeah, see, here's the one thing. PSN Down, I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure if you sit on the middle of the fence or if you go over to like Pony fandom or if you over on Xbot fandom or whatnot. But the key thing to me when it comes to this system is the improvement in things like the textures, the lighting, the shadows. The stuff that really means something, that really you can really see a difference in the game. That's what means the most to me graphically when it comes to the X. And unfortunately, the PS4 Pro doesn't really do all that. It does checkerboarding up to 4K, smaller titles 4K native. But when it comes down to it, the meat of the graphics, you're getting the same textures that you would get in the standard PS4. And that's where I can wait to get a Pro. Like, the Pro isn't going to do anything for me right now, to where the Xbox One X, with the improvement in textures and the super sampling to my HD television, actually gives me a lot more. So that's where I am on that. I don't know. So let's move on past the dev talk here, and let's hit Predator, man. Yo, Pred, you've had some time with the Xbox One X. Let us know what you like about it, man.
It's sleek. It's quiet. I really don't have a lot of negatives to what I've experienced with it, other than my little hard drive issue. But I think it might be my software that I'm using to edit videos. I know my hard drive initially that I had was corrupt, so that was part of the first problem. But now I'm still trying to dig through this shit now. It's, you know, I got my 1S sitting right next to it, man. It's like, I mean, if the 1S was black, I would probably think they're the same fucking console. That's how close in similarity they look to each other. But obviously, what's inside it is completely different. I was surprised at how quiet this thing is. My hard drives in it are louder than my Xbox One X. You know, the two that I have plugged in. I have one plugged in for video capture, and I have one plugged in just for extra storage. And I can hear them over the Xbox. They're both Western Digitals. They're not bad hard drives. I'm not trying to say anything about the hard drives. I'm just basically saying how quiet this thing is. Surprisingly quiet, too. I expected it to be a little bit louder than what it is. So my PC is louder than my Xbox is right now. And, you know, like you're saying about Quantum Break and the graphics, not, you know, if you ever gamed on PC, I have to agree with Don on this. It's not a surprise what the graphic quality looks like when you play games. You know, if you spoil yourself playing on the PC in the past, like Quantum Break
surprises you. It was $500 to get that experience.
Exactly. It was a cheaper experience for what I got, I'm getting out of it.
Well, it's important to point out that it doesn't make it any less enjoyable, right?
No, it doesn't.
It's just, that's not what I think me or you are talking about. It's just it's not a surprise for us.
No, it's not a surprise. It's like, you know, the power that you're getting out of this is it's PC quality graphics, and it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody because this is what Microsoft said you were gonna get in the fucking first place. So I don't understand why people are like, oh, this, like, some people are still kind of downplaying it. You hear like the Sony enthusiasts saying, you know, oh well, you know, they'll come up with whatever excuse they want to come up with to not buy it. But in reality,
if you're talking straight console war, you can say pony, man, because there's Sony enthusiasts out there who can still give credit to another company for
and there's a lot that won't. Dude, I was in chat today. I was sitting there waiting on something. I think I was in a grocery store or something, like waiting in line. I started to go through some of the YouTube videos of Digital Foundry, and don't ever go in their chat, dude. Don't ever go in their chat. It's just the most toxic bullshit ever, because there's a few people that be like, you know, good job, Xbox, you know, and then of course they got to say something. Now, even the media is doing it too. You know, they'll say good job, but you know, there's always an asterisk there. Where your exclusives, or you know, about time, or I'm still not a PlayStation guy. And some of those people,
so heavy, but it's so heavy though.
Yeah, it's so heavy. Fucking get in the weight room, bitch. I'm just like, you're not lifting this motherfucker. You're not doing curls with an Xbox, man. I will say, I was actually surprised at how the weight of it, but like, I'm not carrying this everywhere with me. Like, who gives a fuck? Put the shit on the shelf and let it sit there.
To me, with the weight and everything, it feels solid. It feels like they used every bit of space.
It feels sturdy.
Exactly.
It's not flimsy as fuck. Like I think the original PlayStation, even the original Xbox One, it's just a lot of plastic. Just like a lot of extra space in it. They packed everything in this, and I haven't heard a lot of like negative as far as like, you know, you get that small percentage of fucked up consoles, and I haven't even heard that either. And I thought coming in, my issue was going to be this. My only issues with what I heard. So I can't say what I heard. My only issues coming into purchasing this was the red ring of death again. You know, just all that heat and all that. I didn't think Microsoft would fuck that up again, but I was like in the back of my mind, you know, because I went through a lot of 360. Supply,
when you put it back into the system, like you do get nervous about like heat and stuff like that, man.
So that was the heat and the sound are my only two things. And like, if you feel the back of the Xbox, you can feel a little bit of heat coming out of there. But that Hovis method, whatever the fuck they're doing in there, is working. You know, it's doing what it's supposed to do, and that's you know, fucking great. I can't even think of the right fucking word I'm trying to say. Yeah, it's amazing. Like, I mean, like, if you don't like Xbox, you can at least, you know,
you gotta give them props for
the console.
You gotta give them props for what they have done. If you look into what they have done with this, with using the Jaguar cores at the core for the CPU, but modifying them to do exactly what they needed to do. But at the end of the day, the skeleton of those cores is still Jaguar. You know what I'm saying? For them to use the Jaguar cores for them to be able to physically put DirectX 12 into the system, onto the system on the chip and all that good stuff. For what they did there, you guys got it. Like, people gotta, well, they should give them some type of props for like innovation, man.
Yeah,
because they really pushed they pushed this forward. They did stuff with the CPU and stuff like that even Digital Foundry is like, we never thought that would be possible. Never.
Yeah, and the only negatives that you're going to hear, it ain't about the console itself, unless someone wants to cry about it being heavy. It's outside factors like the shipping, like with Amazon. I know some people have some issues with that. Just the availability of not being able to get the Scorpio edition. It's stuff that's outside of the realm of what Microsoft can handle. Like, nothing's wrong with this console. And if you find something wrong with it, you're just nitpicking at this point.
Well, there is a few things that I think are glitchy right now, but we'll get into that. But let's talk to K Mega. Like, let's get him away from the X. Let's get him into talking with us in the chat. Yo, Mega, your Xbox One X, kind of like your first impressions. What do you like about your system, man?
Well, I like the weight, because it's just like with anything that you buy that's electronic and it feels sturdy and it feels heavy. That means you don't want to break it. You know, you feel like it's like you got your money's worth with that. I don't, you know, I've always been like that. Like, if something is weighed down, it feels like it's actually got some oomph into it, and they put something into it that, you know, that makes it sturdy. I look, my whole impressions of this thing positive is this is the real deal. I think a lot of us has been put down because of what we've heard from, like, with the Pro and how the original Xbox One Fat came out and so forth. And so when you hear a big company telling you that we're going to make the most powerful console and offer it to you at this price, people are still reluctant, you know, because we've been burned before from all different type of companies. So when it actually comes out and it's the real deal, it confuses some to the fact that they don't want to believe it, and then to the ones that's been anticipating it and they actually see it, it's like Christmas. This thing is it's amazing, man. I mean, I've seen Gears. Like, that looks like a whole different game. I just seen Quantum Break. That looks stunning, dude.
I can't believe Quantum Break actually looks better, because I thought Quantum Break looked incredible when it launched. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, they probably cleared up some things, but dude, like, I'm putting my name on that whole Quantum Break thing. I am putting that down as, if you have an Xbox One X and if you don't have Quantum Break, you need to go out and get it, like, tonight.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then on top of that, like, I was just watching the TV part, and like I was saying, like, the definition of everything, the details, just like, damn, like, it's insane. Then of course I seen Halo. All these games they play fantastic. Forza 7, it was already beautiful on the S. Like, it's in another ballpark, right? I already knew it was going to be serious when you first turn it on and it says Xbox One X enhanced. Like, what? And then when you look in the detail of the cars and then looking at the buy again and how realistic that looks, man. And then the biggest surprise to me was games that's not even enhanced yet. Like, I showed a picture on Twitter of Doom, and like this is not even advanced, and this thing looks better than my games on my PC. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I paid over $800 and some for my PC. And so, yeah, I'm no doubt. No, I'm not even playing.
You feel a little jip right now, man?
No. I don't feel ripped. I didn't, you know, I was kind of like, you know, I don't want to play the version of Doom. It doesn't look that good. And so I've been playing it on, so I played it and I beat it on my PC. And then I'm looking at this and I'm like, this looks better than my damn PC. So it's crazy. And then I showed Shadows of War, a clip that I was at, because I just started Shadows of War today, and I showed that clip. Like, man, it's bananas. This is a console. I'm still trying to get that over my head right now, that this is a console. This isn't a PC. And for the one thing that I could say that I can agree with PC people about, is that now after experiencing the X just for the short time that I've had, I can't go back. I can't go back to anything less. I can't go back to anything less. And so I will tell people this: if you don't have an Xbox right now, or if you still have the Xbox One Fat or the Elite, don't even worry about the S. Don't shortchange yourself.
I skipped straight over the S, man.
Just go straight to the X. If you don't even have an Xbox, don't waste your time with anything less. Just get the X. You know what I'm saying? Because it will blow you away. It will blow you away.
You know, one weird thing is, because K-Mega, I know you have a 4K television. Is this the same for their Predator?
What's that?
Do you have a 4K television there?
Oh, yeah.
As well. So, I have to leave Xbot out of this question because he doesn't have one yet. But, but
in all seriousness, my advantages.
But you guys have had your 4K televisions for a while before you got your X, right?
Yeah.
And the best analogy I can give for some people that have invested into a newer television like that, it makes it feel like your TV is now come alive. Does that make sense? Like your TV's always been kind of held back, and now you have content that can actually utilize what your television is. I mean, wouldn't you guys agree with me on that one?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, this is like
I can't answer.
Well, it's to me, it's like the HDR was what was brought up to me, like with the S, like when I'm playing Forza, and I'm just like, man, this is insane how this racing game looks on the S. And I was like, man, my eyes, and I've been telling people, like, your eyes is going to bleed if it's going to be better, if this Xbox X is going to be the real deal like they say they are, man, it can't look any better than this. And now seeing this man and the vision of what Phil Spencer said, look, if we're going to make this machine, we want to go all out. We're going to do HDR. We're going to do 4K, and we're going to, and that, thank you, because this shit right here is insane. This is exactly what gamers, if you're a true gamer, this is exactly what you need right here. And now the one beautiful thing about this is that Xbox, well, I should say Microsoft is taking gaming to another level again, because PlayStation, they can't fuck around. They got to come with something that's comparable or something that's better. Facts. PC, they're going to keep pushing, because as you see, the PC fanboys out there are losing their shit because they feel like, what is this console even being in the same realm as us? And while so many people don't have a PC as powerful as the X, it's going to make people be considered for the first time buying a console. It's spectacular, man.
It's crazy.
It's a wonderful thing.
I just want to throw in kind of like my thoughts real quick. The things I really did like about the X. First of all, I do like the weight as well. I like that it feels solid. All right, I do have it up on the stand right now. I am happy because I didn't get an S, so I didn't have an Xbox that would go up on a stand. So this is my first one up on a stand. I save a lot of room on my computer desk, which is next to the TV.
Wait. So the X is not too heavy for that stand?
No, not at all. It's
beautiful. Strange.
It's beautiful. But
okay.
what Predator said about it being quiet, I swear, like, I know I've been through surgery, I am on pain medication and all that good stuff. So there are times where, like, I'm out in orbit while playing video games. All right, and I had the controller in my hand and I'm playing a game. I had to look over to my system because I didn't hear anything, so I wanted to make sure it was on. Like, yeah. That's how quiet it is. I'm like, I can't believe this. Like, I don't hear the fan. I don't hear anything from it. It's like it's not even turned on, but it is. So that is really cool. Even with games that aren't Xbox One enhanced, you can tell. At least I can tell. I love to know my systems, right? And I can tell when there's a game that I'm playing that really stresses my system out. You know what I'm saying? Pushes it to the max. You know, everything is kind of like chugging on the inside. With the Xbox One X, every game that I've played on this thing, none of it has pushed the hardware to the limit. It doesn't chug at all. Everything is smooth. Everything is responsive. Absolutely amazing. I feel like the UI now with the Xbox One X is responsive. This is the way the UI should be. For all systems. So I hope they get there with the user interface across the S and the original Xbox One as well. because the user interface on the X is very smooth, very responsive, and it works. And then, you know, you have all the graphics. I mean, Quantum Break blew my freaking mind. Gears, I thought Gears 4 was like the flagship. If you want to have somebody see a game on the Xbox One X, and if you want their eyes to like get really wide and stuff, you put in Gears in 4K 30. You put it in at 4K 30, and you just sit back and you're like, here, you hand the controller to him, you play this for a while and let me know what you think. Yeah, the update to Halo 5. Yo, Frankie, dude, Halo 5
was impressive, very impressive.
They killed that. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Plus,
detail, like just the detail of this. And one other thing, though, Bot, that was very impressive to me was I went back and I played a 360 title. I played 2 360 titles. And Virtual Fighter 5 looked so good. And this game has no enhancements. Like, it just, like, are you kidding me? Like, this, no way. Like, it was stupid how good that was. And man, I just can't wait for I still have to see Tomb Raider and Path of Exiles, Diablo.
All right, guys, I'll be back. I have to go take care of my meat.
All right, man. Let us know when you get back.
Let's go pull it out of the smoker. Yeah, I'll be back, guys.
Okay. All right. So yeah, it's just one of the things where I've lost my train of thought now, and so I just know that the X is the shit, man. It is the real deal, and nobody should hate on this console just for the mere fact of they promised this and they delivered, and also for the problems that we've been hearing, that like some people's stuff is bricked. I seen somebody this morning get pissed off and say, yeah, that, well, everybody's talking about how great the X is, but you rarely hear anybody saying anything about how people are having problems with their X. And like you said, there's going to be issues. But the one thing the reason why it's not that big of a deal, because of course it's not that many of them that's having problems. Obviously, would be out there on the No and everywhere else.
Oh, the gaming media. Yeah. If it went like above 1% of the total production or something like that, I can guarantee you IGN, GameSpot, the No, all these gaming media, they would be front and center with it, like all over the place if it was a major issue. Yeah.
It definitely, but the main thing is that if there's a problem, Microsoft is going to fix the problem for free. Yeah, it's not like what PlayStation did to their fans when they said that they ran hot or it bricked or whatever. You got to give us $99, well, $99 and $100 for us to fix it, and that's the big difference. Microsoft will take care of it in a heartbeat. So, just be pleased. If you're a gamer, man, this is something that's going to propel gaming forward, and it's a good time. We're in a good place because, in all actuality, the big three is doing really well. PlayStation's on top. Nintendo's made a huge comeback, and now Xbox is finally get their footing, and now it's ready to go now. So
yeah, dude. What I wanted to touch on something you said, Mega, when it came to Doom, right? Because that's another thing. These games that don't have the Xbox One X enhancement, but that have like the dynamic resolution and stuff like that, you are going to see a major, at least performance, like upgrade to it. Because what's going to happen is with Doom, once there's a lot of enemies, a lot of particle effects, explosions and stuff like that going on in the game, the native resolution will drop down in order to keep that 60 frames per second. But with the X, it doesn't have to drop the resolution down. So you're maintaining the highest native resolution while also maintaining the 60 frames per second, and the games are just going to look better and perform better right off the bat. Now I hope that Doom gets a Xbox One X enhancement, because can you imagine like that thing looking any better? I mean, the game.
I really couldn't.
Oh my goodness, the game already looks great. But on that note, because when it comes to new hardware, of course there's good, and there's bad as well. Nothing comes out, nothing comes off the production line absolutely perfect. Now, one of my concerns here with the Xbox One X, like this could be my favorite console all time. All right, there's only one thing that's holding it back. that I'm not sure about yet, and that is the longevity of the hardware, because now we have, you know, we have the ventilation on the sides, we have a vapor chamber on the inside, which is the first time ever for a console, and I don't know what the lifespan of this console is actually going to be now that it, you know, it's coming off the production line and stuff like that. So time will tell on that for me. I'm a little iffy about that, about having that vapor chamber there, and how long my actual console is gonna last. But other than that, there's been like, for me, there's been like certain glitches. I had to figure out whether or not my games kind of like updated into the 4K assets and stuff like that, and like I had an issue. I had to download like Forza Motorsport 7 like twice before it clicked over that I was supposed to get the Xbox One X enhanced version. My Rise of the Tomb Raider, my installation keeps stopping for some reason. I have no idea why, so I haven't been able to play my Tomb Raider yet. So there are issues. Let's go down the line. Yo, Predator, what issues have you had with your system? Anything you want to let, like, you know, the gamers out there know about if they're thinking about getting the system, kind of like stuff to look out for?
Just, you know, I think it was more issue with my equipment, but the hard drive issue I was having, just trying to download videos. You know, Upload Studio is jacked. I mean, you can only record like 30 seconds of 4K. And I think that's a problem, just to your internal hard drive. And I think that's a big issue for people who want to record video clips and stuff like that. That's something that needs to be resolved like now. If you want to use an external, you can, but you can't even like go into Upload Studio and edit it in Upload Studio. You have to actually take it out, put it in your PC, and edit it that way. And you know, you don't know what you're gonna output once you do that. So they need to fix their Upload Studio. This is supposed to be a 4K machine.
Yeah.
So if they're gonna do a 4K machine, then they need to have, you know, the power to actually do something like that, edit videos inside their Upload Studio.
Have a 4K editor as well. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't have any problem downloading anything like you did, and some of these issues we're having are probably user specific. I haven't heard like a massive issue with every single person. Like it's been like one person has this issue, one person has another issue. They're not all like, you know, combined. There's not like 30,000 people saying they have the same fucking issue. It's just like onesie twosies here and there. I haven't had any problems up like downloading anything, should I say. So most of my stuff, I put it on my other hard drive, my other external, and before the launch. That way, when I got my Xbox, it was just plug and play. So I didn't have to re-download anything like that. And all my 4K assets that I was able to download prior to launch, I did as much as possible. So it was a smooth transition for me. But I'm not sure how it is with everybody else out there, how fucked up the process was. But it seemed pretty simple to me.
So besides the hard drive, you don't really have, like, there's no other issues. What about the 4K versions of the games? Has there been any bugs or glitches that you found on the 4K versions compared to like the standard versions of any of the games that you've played so far?
I played Assassin's Creed. Basically, I played everything that I could that I had. So at least for a little bit to check it out. And I have not had any issues whatsoever as far as playing those games. And that goes from Gears, Assassin's Creed, Battlefield 2, not Battlefield, Call of Duty. I'm sorry, I've not tried Destiny. Forza was fine, but everything I've played so far has been like spot on.
Dude,
I haven't had any issues.
Destiny 2 is so much smoother on the X, man. There's like no frame hiccups whatsoever. Everything, no matter what's going on, I swear, like you could be in a public event and everybody can throw a void grenade, which, you know, with the void grenade, all the particles and stuff swirling around and all this, dude, nothing, no frame hiccups or anything. Still as smooth as if you were just sitting there by yourself. It's insane, dude. But Mega, we went through the good, and you know there is a lot of good with this system. Is there anything that you would like to kind of let people know out there to kind of maybe be aware of in terms of something negative, something that's not so great with this system, if they're thinking about picking it up?
Yeah, it's basically just like software issues with certain things, not everything, but certain things. And this pertaining with the games, I guess, with your external. If you you know if you have multiple Xboxes, the transfer the transfer option that's on the your settings on the Xbox should help you out. But I took all my games and I put them all on my external, and then put them into my X, and some of them got corrupted. Like I couldn't play Gears, I couldn't play Halo, and um, I couldn't play what was it, Mortal Kombat. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and switch them over or move those files over. Well, that didn't work. So today I went ahead and I just uninstalled them and then reinstalled them, and then my file sizes of the games got bigger, which told me that there was something corrupt or something that didn't get enhanced on my S. So it took a while for all those games and DLC to get loaded, but they're all working and they're fine. So just be knowledgeable of that. So that's really the only issue that I had, because when I was trying to play Gears yesterday and Halo, I would try to play it and then it wouldn't, and then it would cut my box off, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? But after I'd taken care of that, this thing has been working perfect. So you can tell it's like some kind of software issue that they got to fix with that on certain games.
Well, yeah, we got the new hardware, and I believe the core is working great, and of course, they're gonna come out with updates down the line, further kind of stabilizing the user interface and stuff like that. Mega, I'm going to ask you the same way I asked Pred, because I had a couple instances when it came to like Forza and stuff like that. Now, the 4K versions of these games, the Xbox One X enhanced versions of these games, were there any glitches or anything that you kind of ran into compared to just like the standard version? Did the 4K have any glitches that like the standard version didn't have that you know of, man?
Well, when I put in Forza, Forza was another game I forgot that I had to reinstall as well, because it was laggy at first, and I'm like, whoa, every game that I put in here, it's been smooth, no issues, and I'm like, why is Forza a little laggy? And then it would say waiting to install. And so I'm like, what?
Yeah, I got that too.
Yeah, and so I'm like, what is this? And so again, I'm saying it sucks, but all you got to do is just uninstall the game and reinstall it. And what it's doing is that those enhancements that's supposed to have been there in that you supposed to got on your S or wherever in that block, for some reason, it didn't get those enhancements, because right now what I'm doing Ghost Recon worked, and it was working fine, but it was the standard edition, and I bought the full version of Ghost Recon. So what I'm saying, so when I went ahead and I'm getting ready to install right now, it was like 52 53 gigs. Now while it's installing, it's up to 62. So there's some things going on where maybe not all of those games are fully in there. So if you have any of those games from the enhanced side of it, if you're having some issues or it doesn't look like it's graphically enhanced in any way, because these games, trust me, they are enhanced. You'll know. Uninstall it and reinstall it, and it should be fine. It's an inconvenience, but it sucks. And then another thing that's kind of problematic, it's not that big of a deal because I'm used to it. I've been seeing it like that, and I could use YouTube and on my television or on my PC or phone. But and I know that's not a Microsoft issue. That's more of like, I guess Google and Microsoft don't like each other. But the interface for YouTube is terrible. They don't have the 4K on that either. And then Upload Studio, like Predator was saying,
they need to revamp Upload Studio. They
need to revamp it. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's the thing right there. That's a
huge miss. I'm sorry, that is a huge miss.
Right.
Like this generation is known for being able to create content. Whether you're streaming to Twitch or Mixer or YouTube or recording gameplay and making your own videos. That's kind of like, it's one of the definitions of this generation and for you to come out with a more powerful system and not kind of go in and revamp your your video editor and stuff like that to kind of go with that system, that's a huge misstep in my opinion.
Yeah.
No,
that is a misstep.
I do want to give a huge shout out to Lady Foxfire. What is going on, Foxfire? Thank you for joining us. We are talking about the Xbox One X, and a huge shout out to over 100 people watching right now. Thank you guys. If you could just do me a favor and slap that thumbs up button for us, we would really, really appreciate it. But I gotta say, when it comes down to the Xbox One X, when I was asking about the 4K asset games compared to the standard definition, I gotta say the only issue I had was with Forza Motorsport 7. Now, it was funny that Mega, you said about it being kind of like laggy or whatever. I went into single player, right? I went into single player and tried, because I didn't beat the single player campaign yet. I got one more set of races to do.
You think you'd have. It's a lot deeper than that, man. I've been in that thing I'm going on my 4th time now.
All right. Well,
it keeps extending. Yeah, the game is very deep.
Okay, for my first time around then.
Yeah.
But and it was funny. It was like game said something like the game is downloading. You can continue and basically play something else. So I hit A to continue. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe it's just downloading the assets to those tracks for the single player. I went to go and play online. It wouldn't let me play online. It said the game was downloading. I go into my games and apps. I check my queue, and it's not in my queue, and it's not downloading. So I'm like, what the hell is going on here, right?
Yeah.
So I ended up wiping it and then re-downloading it. And the only thing I have is Forza Motorsport. With Forza Motorsport, there's a glitch that is well known within the community. It's where the actual road that you're racing on disappears. It happens. It happened all the way from the first Forza all the way through 7, right? Well, it didn't happen on the standard version, but in the enhanced version, I had it happen like 4 times in one 3-hour session, where the actual track disappeared on me. Now, the thing is, in a single player, all I have to do is pause it and wait a couple seconds, and the road comes back. I want to know if people in the chat know what I'm talking about. If you've played Forza for long enough, do you know when the road actually disappears? So hit up the chat. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. All right. But that happened. And the only thing I could think of, the only time that it would really be a nuisance for me is if it happened online. All right. It didn't happen to me online, but if that ever does happen online, because you can't pause it, you can't pause it and you just have a hole where your road used to be. But that happened a few times. Not so much after that day. So I don't know if they had to kind of secretly put in a small patch or something like that to kind of fix it. But other than that, man, everything's been running smooth. A lot of the games that aren't enhanced, like the Destiny 2, let's just be honest, that's what I'm playing mostly right now, runs incredibly well on the Xbox One X. And it is getting an enhancement as well. But like I said, there's no hiccups in frame rate or anything like that right now when it comes to Destiny 2. It runs so smooth. It's absolutely incredible. Is the Don back yet, or is he still tending to his meat?
Playing with his meat somewhere
Is he
still.
still tending to his meat? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
He's tenderizing it now.
Let's get into a little bit off the subject but connected to it. All right, because a lot of people out there that aren't Xbox fans, they're now talking about the PS5 and everything in accordance with the Xbox One X. And the PS5 is gonna blow away the One X and everything like that. So, Mega, when it comes to this situation, all right, now we have Xbox has the most powerful console out there. It's got native 4K gaming. It's absolute beast. When do you think Sony will challenge Xbox when it comes to this power and the PlayStation 5? And do you think that they will overcome it? Do you think that they'll become number one again when they number one most powerful when they release a new PlayStation?
in my theory, I think that they're going to make an enhanced version of the Pro. I think they're going to do like a new type of upgraded Pro.
Really?
Yeah, first, because I don't see the PlayStation 5 coming out anytime soon. Not in the next 3-4 years. Just for this reason alone, PlayStation is #1 right now. They're making money off of their console at this point because they have so many out in the wild. They would have to really start over again. Show that that they have this new powerful console. It's going to be $500 or more if they bring it out. If they bring something out like next year, like some people are like anticipating, that's not going to happen.
Blade said the Pro.
yeah, the Pro. So the only thing that I think that PlayStation can be able to do is to ratchet up on marketing deals. And give out like some kind of enhanced Pro. Remember that we were talking about that, this coming around, like maybe that they were going to have an enhanced Pro to come out to combat against the X. But I don't even think that Sony knew how powerful that this machine was. They knew that the X was coming, but I don't think that they thought it was just going to be just an upgrade like theirs were. And now it's going to take a little bit more time, because if they just think about it. If they bring out the PlayStation 5, let's say next year or the year after, that means they've been working on it for a very long time, and the pieces that they're gonna have on it, it's gonna be like Vega, things like that. It's gonna be expensive as hell. It's not gonna be cheap.
If it's Vega, all right, I'm predicting like 2020, 2021. For the PlayStation 5. By that point in time, because AMD is already going to have another GPU architecture out called Navi. Right. They should have that out by that time. Vega's not going to be that expensive.
Well, no, by that time, I'm talking about next year, even 2 years from now, it's not going to be that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, it's going to still be, the console is going to be about $500 or more if they try to bring it out this early. And it's not going to be that much more powerful than the X. It might be maybe 20%. It'll be kind of like what the PlayStation 4 was to the original Xbox One Fat. That's more powerful, but it's not that substantially more powerful. You see what I'm saying? So they have to wait in order for the prices of tech to go down in order to appease their fan base. So it's one of those things. That's why I've been saying that the Xbox One X is future proof. I'm not saying that you can play it forever.
Xbox
I mean, you
put
can.
Themselves in a great position right
but
now.
they put themselves in a great position because right now, for at least 2 years, they're going to have the most powerful console, and I think it's going to be a little bit further than that. Because I think PlayStation has to wait because they're doing so well. They're still #1. They own all these shares in the market. Really. They don't have to do anything except just keep doing what they're doing until the time is right for them to bring the PlayStation 5. Nice. I think that's just only the fanboys just tripping about it.
There's not a like, hey, it's doing bad or it's doing good. We have to do a new console. That's not how it works, right? You have to plan this stuff out ahead. So it's not going to, when they release their PlayStation, it is going to be an answer to what their competition's doing, but it's not going to be like, hey, I just hit the new console button, right? And I got something new that's on the market. It's just not how. All right, it's not how it works.
Don, before you go off with this, all right, I just want to throw something in here because this was my way of thinking that brought this question out to the panel, right? I'm thinking with what Xbox has done with the CPU, like the innovation that they've pushed with the X using the Jaguar cores, which Don, me and you, we thought Ryzen like all the way, before time with what they were aiming for and stuff like that. But they're actually using the fucking Jaguar cores, with putting DirectX 12 physically inside the system. The ways that they got to like the 4K gaming and to the 6 T-flops and all that good stuff. Like it was ways using parts that we didn't think they would be able to use, right? So,
well, I think I give two predictions, right? But I obviously had to go with one of the predictions, right? There's two ways to do it: either rev the nuts off the existing hardware that's there, right, or you take something powerful and basically scale it down so it's within yields and try to bring down prices that way, right? I went with like a more powerful hardware, and you scale it down so for the masses. So that was my thought process. They went the other way. They read the nuts off of it. and, and the thing is awesome for what it is.
See, and here's what I'm saying, because there's people out there now, or they're talking for people who they just have like it's just about one piece of plastic and it's not Xbox. They're automatically talking the next PlayStation, and I'm thinking to myself, with what Xbox has done with the Jaguar cores and putting DirectX 12 inside the system, like. They're already working on the next console. They can put that DirectX 12 in the next console, and imagine what they can do, like with the Ryzen instead of using the Jaguar that they're using now. Like I see Xbox in. I don't know if you guys let me know if you agree with me. They're in a lot better position because they created innovation with this system to make it powerful that can go into their next iteration and kind of double down. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. We're not in the area of wild speculation like we were a year ago. There's a lot of stuff known about what's, around the corner, what it can do. The APUs are using Ryzen and Vega technology and all that sort of stuff. So that's all public knowledge. It's all kind of known now. The biggest issue now is if you want to make a tangible difference between what the X is putting out there, right? So when you can go into a Best Buy and you say, "Oh, that system looks better than that system," sort of effect, you have to add more RAM. The only way you can add more RAM is you have to go to HBM. Like you have to. That's all. Because the reason why HBM exists is so you can shove more RAM on a board, and that gets substantially expensive. HBM is not dropping in price anytime that we can see in the near future.
Dude, I remember when we were debating about HBM.
Yeah. I mean, because I was all excited, but now it's known, right? It's not a mystery anymore, right? So, unless HBM can drop dramatically in the next couple of years, I don't know what they're going to do. I'm actually kind of excited to see what they're going to do, right? Because they're going to have to get more creative to compete in that space, right? A Digital Foundry article looking at the certain numbers is not going to be enough anymore. You have to make it tangible for the customer again, and that's what Xbox brought, right? Forget all the analytic type stuff, right? They've done something. Everyone here on the podcast, everyone I've been in a party chat goes, "Damn, look at this!
Look at this!"
Right? Yeah, that's and this is something I've been preaching for a while, right? We can get all the nuts and bolts of how it works, but at the end of the day, if it's not catching your eye, then how is it justifying your dollar? Now you guys are playing it. It is catching your eye and go, damn. So your expectation, if you're going to buy another PlayStation, your expectation would be to have a damn look at this experience for you to want to get that, or a crazy amount of exclusives you just couldn't get on the competing platform. That's
Don,
only two things that you can do.
All right, Don, before you continue, I forgot. I told somebody in the chat I was going to say this because we went through kind of like the negatives, kind of some things that we went through when it came to the Xbox One X to kind of look out for in case you were thinking about purchasing it or whatnot. PSN Down, he said that there was a YouTuber named Mr. 4K Upscaler, right? He said that he had an issue with his Xbox One X plugging it into the power strip where you plug multiple things into one plug. I guess it slowed down his UI or anything like that. I would suggest that with this hardware, because it's already working to be efficient when it comes to your electricity in terms of the bill and how much power it uses. I would suggest that if you could, anyway, whether this is truthful or not, plug it into the wall anyway. You see what I'm saying?
That's what the
customer service will tell you that. Will tell you to do that with all the Xboxes. Just plug it in. It's got a built-in power strip. I mean, not power strip, but surge protector inside the machine. So they prefer you to go on the wall. My whole thing with at least with the X, because it is so power efficient. You know what I'm saying? Stretching that line of power, because it's already doing the most for whatever like small amount it's pulling already. Like I would automatically just plug it into the wall if I could. That's just me.
That's what they recommend. So I mean, I go with what Microsoft recommends on that.
Well, I recommend it, so therefore every.
Well, did I say Xbox or did I say Xbox? It doesn't matter which one I said. Well, what I'm saying is, there's a vice there, right? So when a manufacturer gives you a vice, they're accountable for that advice they give you, right? So if there is a problem that occurs because of that, then you hit up Microsoft, right? And that's what you do from there. It's just like what I can always remember, like the Chevy Chase like Christmas special where he has all the plugs plugged in in the socket, one plug extension to another, right? Don't be like that. Like, cleaner.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah, cleaner, more consistent energy is going to make it so your box can run better.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really going to affect the UI. I would be surprised if it did anything like that. But the system's meant to run clean the way it is. Microsoft's pretty smart. They know what they're doing on all that stuff. So
Nice. Now, Don, when it comes to because we went through our negatives, you were over there preparing your meat. Is there anything that you have kind of run into with your Xbox One X that you might want to tell the gamers out there? Anything negative? We did go through kind of like game installations where Mega has had to install games like multiple times. I know I had issues with Forza Motorsport 7. Is there anything, whether it's UI based, game based, glitches, anything like that you might want to let people know about that you've experienced?
Yeah, just being honest, like with the experience I had. So first off, Amazon delayed my shipment by a day. They somehow
I thought that was going to be its own topic.
It's either going to upgrade me like to next day delivery, but somehow ended up being a day later. So I don't know how that works. So I got it late, and when I got it late, but everything's all prepped. Everything was ready to go. Right, I had everything moved on the hard drive. Went through all the steps to make that all happen. Pretty straightforward stuff. Very very easy peasy. As soon as I plugged everything in, I recognized my profile right away, so I pulled that from the drive, not a problem. But it had an issue with any Xbox One enhanced titles. It said, "Oh, you got a patch." I'm like, "Okay, it must be just a small little update, right? A small little patch, a couple megabytes, right? 100 megabytes or whatever, right?" No, it starts reinstalling the whole entire damn game again. So every single Xbox One enhanced game had to reinstall entirely all over, except for one. So my system's already, and the reason why I brought up the Amazon thing, right? My system's already late, right? And I'm jonesing to play this. So all I want to do is just plug it in and go. And nope, it has to reinstall. It doesn't have the problem now with anything because I did put Assassin's Creed. Everything seemed to work fine, all that sort of stuff. But all my games I already previously owned had an issue. I think that was the major thing. I was, honestly, I was a little worried about the weight because I do have a floating stand that's mounted to the wall. And I'm not so sure on my carpentry, to be honest with you. And so putting it up there, I'm like,
oh. That's a stand you made?
Yes.
Oh, now I see your concern.
Yeah, that's my concern. I mounted it. It's on the wall. I was... it was just like I was setting it down so gingerly, hoping it wouldn't pull it off, see if I heard any creaking or anything like that. Because if it comes crashing down, it crashes my TV, it smashes my gaming life is over as far as consoles go. So I was really concerned about that. No big deal. The carpentry hold up, and it's not nearly as heavy as it seems. It just seems heavier because it's smaller, right? So like when you have something slightly heavier, but you also reduce the size, it plays with your mind a little bit.
I think it's in the high 7, almost 8-pound range. So
yeah, exactly. It's a small human child.
It's a baby, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
it's a baby.
Don't drop your baby.
Yeah, no, catch it on the first bounce, right? So I mean, those only the hitches that I had. Everything else has been really good. It runs really quiet occasionally. Like I've heard the fan kind of, as I've been playing games for a long while. Like next thing you know, like it's got some sort of thermal sensor. All of a sudden, it kicks up the fan even more, expels all that extra hot air. There was no hitches in the game, and there's no effects to the game at all, right? And then it would slow. It wasn't like blasting high and then going down lower. it has a slow fade to the fan speed up and down, so it really just modulates that.
I think they gave you one of the test consoles or something, man. Because
I don't think it helped that I switched between every single possible game before I dived into something. So I mean, I just want to see what it all looked like, right? You know, like that's what I expected. That's what I expected. You know, so that sort of thing. So that's really about it. But you know, no hitches on the UI or anything like that. I guess if you want to know what my surprises were from earlier, I didn't think about earlier, was the UI is flawless. There's like just not a single issue. And you know, if you look at Xbox One since launch, that has not been the
it's been a journey, let's put it that
way.
Yeah,
it has, for sure.
A journey, yeah.
Yes, and Brian, the Dodge Omni looks fabulous in HDR in true 4K.
Oh goodness!
At 60 frames per second, like it's like Forza does look considerably better if you know where to look.
Oh no, yo, Forza, like the atmosphere, the sky, the skybox reaching down to the track. There's
detail in the cars.
Oh yeah, detail in the cars. But there's something when you look outside, you can tell that the atmosphere is filled with stuff. You can tell, like it's light. The atmosphere is alive in real life, right? You can actually look at, and this is the way I look at it in Forza Motorsport 7, the atmosphere in the game looks alive. It looks like a real atmosphere. It looks like real life atmosphere. It is something that when you turn the corner and you have the sun in your face, you literally feel warmer because your mind, like, it looks so realistic on the screen. At least I do. You know,
but you're on a lot of drugs right now. Just I want to remind everybody he's on a lot of drugs. So
I see Jesus.
So some of the effects that you guys are seeing, he's talking about, I don't think you guys are gonna feel. But
I'll let you guys know where to get. No, never mind.
But seriously though, the on the S it looked good, right? But the draw distance was, you know that's when things start falling apart. Is when you start looking further out beyond your hood ornament, right? And and basically all the anti-aliasing, all the fences, that stuff just started to fall apart. Further and further out you looked, and that's what you're supposed to do as a racing game. You're supposed to look for your line, anticipate your corners, and all that sort of stuff. So that's all gone. And some of the lighting effects, I haven't done any of the night races with the new X.
Me neither, actually.
But just the rain with the basically the light from the bright lights.
It's like you could feel the Is it you feel the rain? Can you feel? No. No, we're not going there. But no, that's my only hiccup. It was kind of a disappointing one, as anyone would imagine. But it works, and it hasn't had any other issues. So okay,
I'm happy with it.
All right, Don. Now check this out. This is one more thing, and then we're gonna move on to the whole Amazon and then Call of Duty and stuff like that. All right, with the Xbox One X, all the games that you've played with it, you've played with the system, right? Pick one as the flagship, the one game that you would show everybody, like, at your house running on the X, and why. And then we're just going to move down the panel, ask K Mega that, ask Predator that, and then we're going to move on. So,
honestly, well, you kind of have to show both, right? You have to show your S footage, or game, and then show the X.
Every time I try to show my S, I almost get arrested. Oh, S, got you.
Not publicly.
All right, I gotta get some water. I'll be right back, man. Go ahead.
But no, when you show the base model console and you go to the next one, the biggest one, I think the only one that was a surprise for me was Titanfall. Titanfall looks like a completely different game. Like the way the shaders came out, everything about that game is just, that was probably the only one that was really a big surprise for me. Okay. And he's still getting water, isn't he?
All right, next.
Yeah. Okay.
Mega next. What is the flagship game for the Xbox One X in your opinion, and why?
Shadows of Mordor, or Shadows of War, and Forza 7,
No, one.
For sure.
One.
Oh,
I don't know what Don did.
You said you did give an indication that you can say more, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with
Shadow. Go one, man. I gotta make it tough, man.
Shadows of War.
Now, why is that? Because of how big the game is, plus how good it looks, or
no, just there was like I said, I showed a picture of me playing the game, and there was this and it just hit me. I was coming around and the sun was gleaming off of the main character, and I'm like, damn. And then I just showed this backdrop of the sunset, and then just the environment, and then how detailed his armor, sword, all of that was just, it was insane. So I just had to take a picture of it, and I'm like, man, this is stupid. It's a good tie between that and Gears.
Nice.
That Gears.
Nice.
For real. That's strong.
Okay, Predator, man. Flagship for the Xbox One X. What game and why?
For me, man, right now I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed.
That game is beautiful, man. It
looks, because you get so many different environments in that game, not just, just like a sand dunes. You get the water atmosphere, you get the sunrise, sunset aspect of it too. And the different characters and stuff like that, the different armors and stuff you can get for your character. Like, it all looks different every time you look at it, like depending on where you're at in the game, like in there's different angles and stuff like that. Like, for me, that's it. I haven't put as much time into all the other Xbox enhanced games other than that one, and maybe Call of Duty. And Call of Duty looks like it reminds me of an old war movie, just like it looks good. It's a good looking game,
and I love my shooters. I know exactly what you're talking about, man.
Yeah, it looks like an old, oh man, I can't remember the era, like a 1940s war movie, just like you're watching it live, and it looks really good. But if I had to pick, I would say Assassin's Creed, because I can actually show off different environments. But if somebody came over and was watching me play Call of Duty, I think they'd be equally impressed as well.
Nice. Just to let you know, Mega, he did only pick one. It was Assassin's Creed. He did talk about Call of Duty a little bit, but still, in the end, he picked Assassin's Creed. And I gotta say, when it comes down to it, it was 2 games for me. And I gotta narrow it down to one. I was really, really, really impressed with Quantum Break when I first put it in today. Oh my goodness. But at the end of the day, I'm still going to have to roll with Gears. It's just the color palette, the 4K textures and everything put together on that game. These are 2 games that you cannot go wrong with. But my flagship for the Xbox One X, I'm going to have to agree with our BGST brother, Tim Dog. And I'm going to have to go with Gears 4, man. It looks absolutely incredible. Oh man, they did a hell of a job with that game.
You know what's insane is that game looked that way a year ago. We're just now getting hardware that can actually run it the way it can.
I got you. And do you remember when they put out the beta, all the complaints and everything like that?
Yeah.
Now it's like now in a lot of people's minds, it is the flagship title for the Xbox One X in terms of graphics and stuff. So yeah, that shows you that a beta is not the finished product, people. But moving on, Don talked about Amazon real quick. I did see a lot of people on social media when it came to the Xbox One X. They pre-ordered from Amazon, when the pre-orders first came up, which was like, a couple months ago. And, everybody thought everything was good, that they were going to have their system, basically on their doorstep on the day of launch. And from what I hear, Amazon really screwed the pooch on this one, man. And a lot of people did not get their systems when they were supposed to. Don, you said you dealt with it. Mega, you said you dealt with it as well when it came to.
Yes.
All right, who wants to go first and just vent about Amazon? Anybody who wants to go first?
Well, I'm gonna let K make us stew in his frustration a little bit longer, so because he has a much worse story than I did, right? So like,
Mega gonna go postal on somebody.
Man, mine seemed right? Like I posted the order, didn't worry about it. I didn't even do a backup order anywhere else. I just said, okay, I'm I'm good to go. I got my X in, my money's in my separate account. I'm good to go. I'm not worried about it. Right. And then I started hearing reports people are having problems with Amazon telling certain dates that they shouldn't. So I said, okay, well, a lot of times, that stuff kind of sorts itself out with Amazon, but I'm going to check my account anyways. And right after I get those notifications, it says, hey, your order's shipping's been upgraded, no additional charge to next day delivery. I'm like, sweet. And it said it would ship out on Friday. I'm like, even better. Right. So, I'm like, worst case scenario, it shows up on Tuesday. Best case scenario, it can even show up a day earlier, right? I was excited. And then the next thing I know, I don't see any update until Tuesday on my shipment outside of they gave it to the carrier. And all of a sudden it was 11:45 a.m. Tuesday, and it's in Vegas, and obviously I'm in Utah, so there's several states away. It's not making it to me. I'm like, as soon as I saw that timestamp, I'm like, it's not making it to me today, right? Even though I checked the mailbox 100 times and all that sort of stuff. And then it shows up on the following day. I was even shoveling the driveway to make sure they'll deliver the package, the whole deal. And Amazon actually, that was the bad. The good is Amazon gave me a gift card for it being late.
How much? How much?
$50.
Oh, I'll take that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was a day late, right? But they had so many reports of this problem, right? So by the time I actually called in, because I called in on Thursday to get my shipping refunded back. So here you go. It was my shipping was refunded back. So that was another $10 to me. And then it was like a $40 in-store credit with Amazon. So, in my mind, they made it right, and they didn't give me too much hassle for it. But I know K-Mega had a much worse scenario.
All right. Mega.
Yeah.
You have the spotlight, man. You have the mic.
I'm going to be as quick as possible about it. It's I don't even want to relive it, but
yeah, I got you, man.
No, okay. It was just a really silly situation. Okay, basically they gave me the information this past weekend that was telling me that they were taking the money out of the account and for the shipment. So I was like, all right, cool. I think it was Sunday. I think it was Sunday when they did it. And so they took it. So I went on RDX. I was asked to go on RDX with a dealer in them. And so I went on there and was excited. And then I got a refund. And I think I told them, I told them I got a refund for like $10.99, right? So I was tripping out on it. $25.99. And so I was like, oh, I got a refund from Amazon for $29.99 or $25.99. I didn't understand why, whatever. Yeah. Well, I was expecting to get it then. Then it gave me an indication that saying that I wasn't going to get it on the 7th. I was going to get it on the 9th. So I made a lot of calls and talking to them over my computer, on the phone too as well. And they basically were saying that it got changed from 1 day shipping to 2 day shipping. So I'm like, well, I didn't even ask for you to take this money out. So, and she said, we'll make it right. Okay, whatever. I said, all right, cool. So I was thinking that they was going to make it right. It didn't come on the 7th. So I called them again. Everybody's showing unboxing. I'm tripping out. Like, oh, shit. I'm going to bed early. Anyway, but I was happy for everybody that had it. But anyway, so when it came to Thursday, they hit me up, and I had the money there, and I was getting paid, and I got paid at the same time. But for some reason, they didn't give me. They still told me that I was going to get. They took the money, said it was going to get shipped, but they didn't change it to where it was supposed to be for the day shipping. So I got it on the 9th. They made it to where I was going to get it on the 13th.
What?
And then and so I'm like, what the hell is going on? So you know what I'm saying? So what was because when I got paid, that extra $25.99 got in there. And so it was crazy. So and so then I got pissed off that morning, and then I just canceled. And so they told me that I had to wait 3 to 5 business days in order for me to get my money back. So I was like, you got to be kidding me. So it was kind of like, did I make the right decision? Do I have to really wait 5 days? Because if I waited till the 13th, it'd be less than 5 days. But it was just a principle of the fact that I didn't even want to deal with it anymore because I was supposed to get it on the 7th. Mm-hmm. And so luckily Friday, I got my money back, and I got the $25.99 that they was giving me back in too. So it was really crazy. But anyway, so I got my full amount back. And so I said, all right, cool. So I went to go look for a Scorpio edition, couldn't find one. They were all sold out. I looked 50 miles out of the Oklahoma City Metro, and they were all sold out. There was none left. So the only thing that I could do was go to Walmart, and I got one there, and there was only 2 left, and that was it.
Was Scorpio edition or?
No. I just a regular edition. So I missed out on getting the Scorpio edition, which sucks because that's what I had. That's what I paid Amazon for. Yeah. But I didn't get no extra $50 or anything like that. They just gave me my money back quicker than I thought. So that was my situation. It was all over. They giving me my day one money back first, which I didn't ask for, which was so fucked up. So
dude, that is a crazy ass story, man.
Right. Yeah, it was really wild. I didn't even ask for them to do it, and I kept making that point. And they said, "Well, we'll change it back to the day one shipping." I'm like, "Okay, that's fine," but she didn't calculate that the 20, because the $25.99 was still in limbo. I didn't get that money back, and I thought she was just made it. Anyway, it was a mess. So that's what it was. It was terrifying, and I'm just glad I got it next.
All right. Well, before I go in and ask kind of like the final question about this, Predator, how did you get your Xbox One X? Was it through did you order it to have it come to your house, or did you go to a store, or what did you do, man?
I actually initially ordered it through the Microsoft store. I got it, I guess within hours of it going up on the store, and then being in the military, you can order stuff on the installation sometimes too. So they don't typically get a lot of the high dollar, stuff like this shit. They don't usually get that first. If they do, it's like maybe 4 or 5 of them. So in the store, but I happened to log on to the AFI's military website, and I saw that it was on there. And the reason why I use that because it's tax free. Yeah. So I was like, fuck it. But it was like, the thing was, it was almost a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks after the announcement dropped. And that's how AFIS works. They get everything later. And what they do is they outsource this to a vendor to send to you. So I was like, man, I'm not getting my shit on time, because I was like, but I was cool with it because I saved money. An extra $60 is basically another game for me. So yeah. I was like, okay, well, I'll just use that extra $60 that I'm going to get back from tax free and order another game with it. So when I started looking on, I started seeing everybody getting their shipments, showing their little screenshots and stuff like that with it being on the way. I look online. I'm like, okay, where's my shit? It was still processing. They already charged me, but it was still processing up until the 6th, the night of the 6th. It was still processing. When I woke up the night of the 5th, it was still processing. I woke up on the 6th, and I looked around noon, and it was the status was showing sent to fulfiller. I'm like, there's no way I'm getting this on time. So I'm watching UPS like a hawk, man. I'm like, where's this shit at? So I look on there, and I finally see it sent to. It says it en route, has a FedEx tracking number. That was on the 6th, the night of the 6th. I'm still thinking there's no way it's getting here in time. I'll just expect it here on the 7th. I'm sorry, on the 8th or whatever. So on the 7th, it shows it's here in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm like, oh, hell, that's right around the corner. I was calling. I can come pick it up. I'll come to the store. But they won't let you do that with FedEx. If it's already, it can cause a 2 or 3 day delay if you decide that you want to pick it up from the plant. So I'm like, nope, fuck that. So I'll just let them just deliver it here. So I check again. So I'm expecting this thing to come in on the 8th. I'm off that day, right? I'm thinking I'm going to play Xbox all day. They'll drop the shit off in the morning. Yeah. Nope. I look on there, and it says now it's going to be the 9th, evening of the 9th. And I'm like, oh, you know, so like a whole day's ruined, you know. And so I made a tweet out or something like that. I said, well, FedEx, you screwed me again, you know. And somebody from FedEx actually responded, and they're like, hit me up, let me know what's going on, so I can send me the tracking number and stuff like that. So I sent it to them, and then like within minutes, it'll be there today. I was like, yes. So it came in. I got it a day after launch, but that's a trade-off you get when you're dealing with military.
Well, you didn't pay taxes, and you got it a day after launch. That's not too bad, man.
Yeah, so I mean, I used the money to get a game. I wasn't going to get Call of Duty. I used that extra $60 to get Call of Duty. I saved for taxes. So that was my story. I mean, I got it, and I'm not really. Again, even if I would have gotten it on launch day, I probably wouldn't have gotten a chance. When I got it on the 8th, I didn't get a chance into it until the next day anyway. So either way, I just feel for some of the people out there that were expecting it on the 7th and aren't getting it till like the end of the month, because there's a couple of people I feel like that now.
Yeah, and that, you know, when it comes to the whole Amazon thing, I saw that, you know, there was a lot of people who ended up not getting their system when it was promised to them in the beginning, like when the pre-orders first came up on Amazon and stuff. You know, people were sitting there, you know, waiting to put the pre-order down for the X, for the Project Scorpio, you know, and had all this time to think about, man, it's going to come on time, right? And Amazon didn't work out for a lot of people. Of course, Mr. Blades out there, Blades, yes, it worked for you, man. I got you, all right? Mm-hmm. But for a lot of people, it didn't. Guys, do you think this is going to, like, because I know a lot of people order from Amazon and stuff, but do you think when it comes to, like, these hardware, you know, when it comes to video games and stuff, do you think that, you know, people are going to possibly, on the next time around, because of what happened with Amazon, are they going to go more towards the traditional pre-order at a store and go pick it up type thing? Do you think
that's not safe either, man? It's not even close. How many times when people ordered the Nintendo products over the last years, right? The NES Mini, the Super NES, stores pre-order too many of them and wasn't able to fulfill pre-orders. It doesn't matter where you get it now. And, like, you're going to run into problems no matter what you do.
Well, I ran into a problem with having the pre-order at a store that wasn't doing a midnight launch, and huge shout out to O Snaps as well, because she was actually talking to GameStop corporate. She was on the phone with GameStop corporate. I was on the phone with the store manager, and we're like, we're gonna make something happen here, because there's no way I'm getting punished just for ordering at a specific store when all the rest of the stores are doing midnight launches. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want my system. Every other store in the area is doing a midnight launch. You decided you're not doing it. I want my system though. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we had an issue that way. So you think it's just they're not going to be held accountable at all? They're to do better?
Well, I'm not ever going to do it again. I'm not. Yeah, I'm just going to do it the old school way. Me personally.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go to a store.
You're not going to go to the same place that messed you over last time, right? So, like, you know, in case of Bot's case, he obviously you ordered at a brick and mortar. Are you going to be ordering your next console at GameStop?
Yeah, but it'll be at the GameStop that I usually go to.
Okay, so but it changes, right? Or you'll think maybe Best Buy or whatever, right? Yeah. And it's the same thing with, I think, people that order online. You know, like, okay, Amazon wasn't the best experience with everything, so why not just order directly through the Microsoft store?
I was just thinking that, dude.
Yeah.
I don't think the issue was, like, for me, it wasn't the issue that I couldn't get an Xbox One X. They had two in the Best Buy near me, but, like, I wanted the Scorpio edition because that's the one I ordered, you know, and those were like in limited supply. I would have been really pissed off. If I wasn't able to get the one I actually ordered. Could you imagine if it was like a custom console, like a Gears or something like that console, and you couldn't get that one because Amazon fucked up your order, and that's the only chance you had an opportunity to get it?
That's kind of the dilemma that I'm in right now. I mean, I just got to live with it. I mean, it's you know, and big middle finger to UK Dazzers, because he got jokes. He's like, just get a green pen and just go ahead and mark on it. But you know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, it's frustrating. I mean, it's kind of like one of those things where if people who has the Scorpio edition, they're after a couple of months or so, they're not going to look at the Scorpio insignia and stuff like that.
There's no added value to having it.
Yeah, but like for somebody like me, I'm always going to. It's not going to be there forever. but it'll cross my mind every once in a while. Like I'm just like, damn,
yeah, it's gonna sting, man. It's gonna sting for a while.
Yeah, so yeah,
I could definitely see that.
It is Legends with this.
I mean, you got the system, but in the end, you didn't get like. I mean, we are hardcore gamers. I can definitely see where you're coming from with that, man. And it's okay to feel that sting. Like, don't let anybody tell you you're just like kind of whining or being like whatever, because no, that definitely hurts, man. And I don't know. If O Snaps was there, she'd be like calling for you. She'd find some way to get you some type of compensation for all that bullshit. I can tell you that right now, yo.
It's fun.
She'll stay on the phone for like a week until something happens, yo. I swear.
I feel bad, K-Mega. I took my Scorpio logo off my console.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
Just put your sticker there, man. No one know it's not there.
No, it wasn't a sticker. It was just.
I'm just saying, Mega, just cover it up with a sticker, man. No one knows it's not there.
Yeah, Mega, you can be team sticker now. That's it, man.
Oh man.
But let's move on because a game did release. It's a game that a lot of people, look forward to on a yearly basis. But this year it's a little. I want to say it's a little bit different, but it's actually a little bit more of what used to be with Call of Duty World War II, right? It was released, and from what I'm seeing, it's breaking all sorts of records for Call of Duty in terms of profits and sales and stuff like that. So I gotta ask. I know Predator said he got it because he saved money without paying taxes for his system. Mega, did you pick up Call of Duty?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, so you got it. I got it. I think the only one that doesn't have it is the Dawn, right?
Yeah, I pick up one every leap year, so yeah, it says it's not a leap year. I haven't got one. Yeah. No, I'm not interested in this one for whatever reason.
All right. Well, that's a little weird because I think this is. I feel like the World War II thing has rejuvenated Call of Duty somewhat. Mega, what do you think about like this whole breaking records Call of Duty World War II? Is it because they went back to the whole boots on the ground World War II aspect? Do you see this like crushing records like moving forward? Is Call of Duty kind of like, is it back from that kind of like diminishing user base? Because it was dropping for a few years, man.
I think they'll maintain it. They'll have some really good numbers, but it's COD, man. After the first DLC comes out, that's it. It's gonna drop because there's gonna be people
the community, right?
Yeah, it's gonna fracture the community, and they're not going to and there's gonna be people that just refuse to buy the DLC, and then the sale numbers will drop again. It's just the norm with that. So the sale, people are playing it now and enjoying it, but the most dedicated and the people that are dedicated to zombies are going to just still stay on it.
Yo, the zombies is fire though, man.
Yeah, zombies is dope.
Oh my goodness, they went back to that creepiness, man. It's freaky. But yo, I gotta say, Mega, I'm kind of like in the same kind of like boat as you because I was thinking about it. We have Destiny 2 here, right? And we have Call of Duty, and I'm like, man, when Destiny 2, like, when it comes down to it, am I going to get, like, the first map pack for Call of Duty? Or am I going to get the expansion for Destiny 2? And I know where I'm going with that, like, right off the bat already. I'm like, it's Destiny 2 all the way. And it brought me back to that whole kind of, like, fracturing the community when it comes to map packs and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Man, I just wish they would change their formula. They would.
That's Activision. No.
I wish they would do something kind of like do what 343 did. You know what I'm saying?
That's never going to happen. We're talking about Activision. It's just never going to happen.
343 made a shit ton of money with the rec pack system and everything, man.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, they have to keep a bottom line, and those are the things it's going to do. The only way that it'll change is when there'll be a mass of people, mass exodus. That just say I'm not going to buy the DLC anymore. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, PUBG is coming too. And if they offer free DLC, that's going to be another part of the COD decline.
I was already told we're getting PUBG like day one. Oh Snaps is like we're getting that game.
Right.
as soon as it releases. So
you know what's crazy? You say that, but like loot crates are starting to make more money than standard DLC.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So you know where I may be different than K-Mag. Yes, Activision is stuck in its ways, but it's motivated by money, right? And you know if they can see that business model doing well, and you know obviously people play Call of Duty all year round.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, there's a steep drop off in January, but you know, there's still people that are just constantly on that game. So, and there's people still on Black Ops. Imagine if they had those sort of, you know, loot crate systems, and you're spanning across multiple versions of their game. I honestly, I think there's more money being made there than doing map packs.
See, that's what I'm thinking. If they're about that money, I mean, just look at like. Look at Rockstar and what they did with shark cards in GTA 5. Look at, you know, 343 and what they did with the rec packs, which, you know, you didn't even have to buy them, right? Didn't even have to buy them. I got everything in Halo 5 without buying a single rec pack. I got it with the in-game currency and stuff, right? But they made a shit ton of money. They put a bunch of money back into, like, the Halo 5 competitive, like the tournaments and stuff like that. They made a ton of money. I don't understand why Activision's not there thinking, well, damn, you look at this with this loot crate right here. You look at this with this rec pack right here. Like, we could do something like that with Call of Duty and keep the community together for the online multiplayer all the way through. Like, I don't understand what, like, and they would make more money out the deal, man. I don't know.
I think they're looking for the right formula. I think it's what it comes right down to it. Because not everyone's got loot crates the same, right? Not everyone does it like Halo. Even Gears is not done like Halo. They should. No, that is the template, right? Yeah. You know, where you have the right amount of generosity, where you reward players to actually play your game, right? You have the ability to get that, you know, pay for those crates, but it's all random. So that's the beauty of a loot crate. You know, people complain about the gambling side of things, but if you're really honest with it, if someone pays money and you're earning it through in-store credit, and it's random what you get, someone can't pay to win, right? As long as they're getting the same random drop as somebody that's earning with in-game credit. And, you know, in hell, doing a special game mode, I mean, that was genius how 343 had a special game mode for those particular things. So some things were cosmetic that carried across everything, and then some things were actual different weapons. And you look forward to spend the money, you know, the in-store credit to get the pack. It was exciting when you got to use that in a match, and everything. Even though some things were overpowered, they were still balanced.
Yeah.
You know, that is the template. If anyone wants to do it, even when thinks they can do it better, you know, they're welcome to it. But
they're welcome to try. But I don't.
Yeah,
see,
exactly.
I don't see, because, like you said, everything was still balanced. You still felt kind of like empowered when you got a weapon or something from the rec pack that you're like, damn, like this rocket launcher, like, actually when it blows up, it has like a cluster bomb effect, and it blows up all the way around, all these little explosions and stuff. But you would only have like 3 of them, and your bar would have to recharge before you would be able to use another one. And
well,
stuff
it
like
was
that,
one of those crazy things. Like when you shoot me, like say you had that rocket launcher, and let's say all I had left was a standard pistol, right? I still could have beat you in a firefight,
yes.
Right? If you like, there was still always that chance that I could still beat you if I pull something you know out of my hat, right? And that's good game balance. That's good balancing when it comes to those like loot crate type systems. And so, you know, that's why I'm not like, I don't know, a lot of people are down talking, you know, Star Wars, you know, Battlefront 2, right? But if the in-store credit you earn in the game is generous enough, right? And what if someone's actually paying with real money or basically in-game currency, and the randomness is the same either way, how's that going to break the game? Like, people are going to be getting those crates regardless.
I heard they went in and they changed some things anyway after like the backlash and stuff. So I think they might have made in-game currency a little more generous. I think that's what they did.
I think they were always tweaking it regardless, right? But I think there's probably a couple things on the table, and they probably went with a certain decision because of the feedback, right? Mm-hmm. But they were still going to adjust it because that's what the free market dictates that, right? If no one is motivated to play the game, then the player base drops. Then no one's going to be motivated to buy the loot crates, right? Yeah. No one's playing the damn game, so. Yeah. There's a finite balance where you do have to give it to the players that are playing the game, and they're not getting discouraged by people that are actually paying money. And if you balance that out, then people stay and play your game.
Well, so
that's why I say.
I mean, he basically said 343 gave us free DLC because of the loot crates. Said that in the chat, and that's kind of like where we brought it up. I mean, we were talking about Call of Duty. And we went to the whole map pack scenario and stuff where 343, because of their rec system, they were able to give those maps for free. And Sir Taz, like that's why we're asking why don't they do that yet for Call of Duty? Because I think that's the one big complaint. I think they got a lot more people back on board. You can tell by the sales numbers for the game itself. It's selling a ton. They went back to World War II. They listened to kind of like what the gamers wanted from Call of Duty again. Now, this is the one big hurdle I think that's still kind of affecting them in terms of the gamers, is they're still doing that traditional map pack, because if you don't buy the map pack, you end up being cut away from that community that just keeps moving forward, in the online multiplayer. And it fractures that community, man.
I would be interested to see what the player base is after the first map pack drops. Do they see a steep drop off then?
Yes.
Yep. They
always do. I don't pay attention. To be interesting, like if someone want to dig into the numbers and actually kind of see what's going on there, all the information's there. It's public, right? So it doesn't mean that no gamer can not get a clue and say, hey, this would be a good idea. I think sometimes people also look forward to being burned out on Call of Duty and moving on to something else.
They look forward to being
I think
yeah, they do. Like they look forward to every year coming up. They also look forward to when they're ready to move on to something else.
Yeah, it's like they're Madden, or and that's the funny thing to me, when you got people they'll talk bad about sports games, but then yet they'll buy COD every year. And it's ridiculous to me. So the hardcore buys the DLC for COD. See, and I would think that I've said this before, but I think that the best way for COD to do it, for Activision to make COD more accessible with their content, is to do it like Battlefield. Battlefield's games they get DLC for 2 years. You pay that one price. You get content for 2 years that's spread out perfectly. You know what I'm saying? But that would mean for them to not they can still do it with their games annually, but with but it's going like Treyarch can go ahead and have a 2-year run. Whatever the other ones that they are, Sledgehammer and the other one, I can't think of them. They can all do like two-year situations, but then they could still bring DLC over time, and then that gives that certain fan base that just like Sledgehammer Games, give them the opportunity to have that 2-year window and not worry about that COD, while other people that just want to just buy the COD every year, they still can. It's just that the ones that want to stay dedicated, they can make more money off of that way, but they don't want to.
See, and I still feel like when it comes to Call of Duty, if they implement some type of system that 343 had, I think they would have an active user base for a lot longer.
They release too many versions of Call of Duty to do that, though. Like they have one every fucking year. 343 does a game every 3 years.
You and Mega are kind of like interlacing and making a really good point here. They don't want a crazy active user base for longer than a year, because they want their consumers to buy the next Call of Duty. Damn, that makes sense.
I'm sure if they went through and started thinking financially, a little bit more financially, that so I'll give you my 2 cents on this. I think they released COD, this year's version of COD, at the perfect time because there are no other military shooters out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is like futuristic or fantasy shooters like Destiny and Star Wars and stuff like that. Like there's no competition for them right now as far as military, just straight up military shooters. There's nothing out right now. And the fact they went back boots on ground. So that's what people had wanted for that game in the first place. So being in the military, I know a lot of my friends who play this game, they play a lot of military shooters for the specific purpose of the history of the military, and they want realistic, normal fucking weapons, not this fucking laser, sweet business type shit. You know, they just want normal guns and weapons.
You don't make fun of my sweet business, man. That's my sweet business.
So I know a lot of people who left Call of Duty specifically because they went too futuristic with it, and when they came back to boots on ground, they came back to the franchise. So it was a perfect opportunity for them to release this game when they did, because they hadn't done this in a while, and this is what people wanted. I don't buy Call of Duty for the multiplayer aspect of it. I know that's what it's known for. I buy it for the story of the single player. And then I'll fuck around with the multiplayer every now and then because I suck at multiplayer games and shooters and stuff like that online. But I bought it for the story. And actually, this is a really, really good story when you finish the game. But you have to think about everything they put in this game. There's basically 3 games in one. You have the multiplayer, you have the single player, and you have the zombie mode. And they put a lot of time and effort into all 3 modes.
They did.
For them to come in and say, we're going to go to a game as a service model, that only works if you're releasing the game like every 2 or 3 years. You can't do that releasing the game every year. So
it depends on what.
I'm going to take you. Hold on.
Update,
hold on. I want to take you back to the beginning of the show when I said intelligent gamer. There you go, man. See, that's why I love having you on the show. You that is straight common sense right there. And before we move on, I love cutting off the Don. I don't know if you guys have noticed this or not. But
I don't know if you know this, but I have to go take care of my meat. I'll be back.
Right. But Brett, I want to let you know. You said you only mess around with the online, the multiplayer and stuff like that. I know me and O-Snaps are going to be on. She gets out of work at like 11. So if you're going to be on later on tonight, maybe we can all get together and jump in on World War II, man. Or maybe not. Either way.
Damn.
I don't even know.
Oh man.
Did he leave? I guess he did.
But see, Pred and Mega, you guys came together and made a great point with that, because I don't think they want an active user base for over a year, because they want everybody to buy the next Call of Duty as well.
Right.
With that being said, like you see the numbers that Call of Duty World War II is doing. Do you think that Call of Duty decline that we've been seeing like the past couple years or so, do you think that's over with now? As long as they stick to this kind of like boots on the ground system, maybe doing like Vietnam next or whatnot. Do you think that they stabilize themselves instead of making a more of a downward trend?
I would not be surprised if they went with the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't know who's up next in the rotation and who makes the games, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I think it's Triarch.
And which one they typically do?
That I can't.
I don't know. Yeah. I know they kind of rotate, and then like so whoever's up next, whoever made. I have to look in. I'm not on the computer right now, but I have to look and see. But like whoever made Modern Warfare, I can see them coming back because of the whole boots on ground thing, and going and making a Modern Warfare 4. I think that would be their best bet if I was in charge of the company, knowing what I know now as far as what the boots on the ground has done for them in this franchise. With this version of Call of Duty, I would keep it boots on ground and go with like a Modern Warfare 4, maybe even a Black Ops. What are they on, 3 or 4 now? So
just before.
Damn. Yo, Pat, you just blew my mind with all this, man. Like
Infinity Ward. So yeah, it'd be Infinity Ward that's up. Yeah. So
damn, that's crazy, man. Like I can definitely see another Modern Warfare. Like they would ride that name, yo. That dude, incredible. I bet you that's gonna happen too. And if it does happen, you heard it from Predator on next podcast first, guys. Everybody out there, you heard that right here.
Yeah, rack that shit up.
Rack that shit. Uh-oh. Crap's like, you gotta pay me now.
Book it. What does he say? He usually says something. He has something. Some bullshit he says where he makes a guess like that. I can't think of it right now, top of my head.
Megaton?
Yeah.
That's his thing lately. Everything's a megaton. But guys, I mean that's pretty much it for now in terms of the topics. We are hitting that 2-hour mark, so I do kind of want to wind down. We have the Don over there, you know, taking care of his meat. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do his plugs or whatnot. But as usual, everybody in the chat, yo, guys, the chat was absolute fire today. I feel like we had a great show. We got to let everybody know, you know, where they can find us and what we've been up to. So we're going to have Predator start, you know, kick it off. Let everybody know where they could get a hold of you and what you've been up to with your channel, man.
I got a video I'm dropping tomorrow. I'm not doing it live. It's going to be pre-recorded. So I've already gone over it, and I'm going to scrub it tonight and early in the morning and post it tomorrow before football starts. And then Shot Podcast on Thursdays. I want to say about 6 o'clock Central Time. And then, of course, here, make sure you follow me, Predator_H2OS on Twitter, on YouTube, on Xbox, and on PlayStation, and on Steam. I'm AWater76. And I'll catch you gamers later on.
Nice. Mega, I hope you have that scroll ready, man, because we got to let everybody know everything that you're doing throughout the week and how they can get a hold of you as well, man.
Working. All right. Good night, everyone. No, just you can catch me on doing the GRG podcast every Friday night after Crossfire on my channel. Definitely come to my channel, look at my videos. I don't do videos every day because I'm usually busy doing other stuff. But you know, I got a video probably going to drop later on tomorrow evening, definitely Monday. And you can come check out my channel, KMega45. Well, not at KMega45. You can on Twitter at KMega45. BGST on Sunday or Monday, whenever they choose.
Sunday or Monday.
Yeah, either way. And then multiplayer, whenever I have time to do multiplayer on Z's channel. Just act a fool over there. And then, man, here's the next podcast every Saturday, man. This is what we do. Big shout out to Intro Media Gaming. Big shout out to everybody. You know what I'm saying? This is good stuff, man. The X is here, and it's the real deal, man.
Give it to you.
And it's I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? And Don, he can go ahead and he can, while he's doing his thing with the penis demon, he can go ahead and have his Cambodian tit milk,
yak meat,
and his yak meat, and get with it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
good night, everyone.
Yo, Megan, you know, it was funny because I was looking at the time, and, you know, we usually start at 7. So I looked at the time, and I was like, all right, it's about 10 minutes after 8. And then I was like, hold on, we started like an hour earlier, man. I think everything just went so smooth tonight. It didn't even feel like it. Like we.
Well,
we
didn't have Darth. We didn't have old Darth.
Yeah,
Darth
yeah.
Goldblum here.
He is the dialogue speed bump per se.
Yes.
Like, you know, when it starts going smooth, man, all of a sudden Dark comes in. It's like doom, doom.
And besides that, also, you know, my old lady's coming back from her vacation, her week and like a half vacation in Florida, spending time with her family, and so now it would be wrong of me to say this, but I probably will do it anyway. When she touched down and I go pick her up, I want to say, hey, baby, do you feel like cooking? Because I've been eating like a shrimp, man. I've been over here, man, just scavenging, man. I'm missing my home cooked meals, man. So anyway, yeah.
I'm finally eating like freaking actual food now. It's not all like, yo, it's funny. Like when you get your tonsils out, which was part of my surgery, right? At first you're like, man, like Jello, ice cream, pudding, like I'm gonna be living the life. Dude, like, you know, that only lasts like 2 days before you start craving like a cheeseburger or something, and you're like, oh,
bacon,
anything with bacon on it. Oh my goodness. But so yeah, I'm finally my diet's finally, you know, pretty much back to normal, and I am so happy about that. But as you know, Don is actually entertaining his family and preparing his meat, I think, in front of everybody. So I'm just gonna let people know to follow him on Twitter. It's
look at me, everybody.
It's at the Don _ KTR. So you can follow him from there. Yo, definitely follow him there. You can get his Xbox Live gamer tag, everything right from Twitter. So I'm just gonna do it the easy way. And as usual, guys, thank you again for all the support for the show, for my channel, my family, everything that we have gone through. Thank you guys in the community. The community is the best feature of the Xbox, and it's always going to be that way. Thank you guys so much for rocking out with us live this Saturday, and I'm going to end it the way I always do. We will check you out next Saturday on the next podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Later.
Peace.